Poverty doesn't always start in your bank account. It starts in your mind. It starts in conversation. It starts with the kind of energy you allow near you every day. Because there are people who seem to be with you, but they're quietly against your growth, and you don't even notice. They wear smiles, but spread doubt. They call themselves friends, but mock your dreams. They feel threatened by your progress, because every step you take toward abundance reminds them how much they chose to stay stuck. These people won't raise their voice to stop you. They whisper. They plant insecurity disguised as concern. They say things like, "Be careful not to dream too big. Not everyone was meant to win. Stay here with us, where it's safe." And that's how poverty spreads, through emotional ties you never question. You get used to mediocrity because it's wrapped in affection, memories, people you love. But liking someone is not a good enough reason to live beneath your potential. The truth is, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And if those people think small, envy growth, run from responsibility, and mock prosperity, guess what's going to happen to you? Make no mistake, poverty is contagious. It infects the way you listen, the way you compare yourself, the jokes you tolerate, the advice you accept, the limits you learn to respect, even when those limits make no sense. The problem is, many people want to get rich, but they're still surrounded by voices that quietly sabotage every effort. And that sabotage isn't always cruel. Sometimes it's sweet, full of empathy, but it's a kind of empathy that paralyzes, that comforts you for giving up instead of pushing you forward. People like that say they want what's best for you, but they're more comfortable when you stay the same. Because deep down, your success forces them to face their own stagnation. And that's too painful for someone who already gave up on growth. But not all of them are just insecure. Some are truly deceptive. Some wear the mask of friendship just to keep you close. Not out of love, but out of control. They clap for you in public but tear you down in private. They call you inspiring on social media, but criticize your every move in private group chats. They say, "Go for it," but secretly celebrate every time something goes wrong for you. Betrayal doesn't just happen in romantic relationships. It happens in friendships, in family circles, at work, anywhere someone can't stand to watch you grow. Because deep down, your growth forces them to face the things they never had the courage to build for themselves. And you know what's most dangerous? These people know how to manipulate. They know how to use guilt to keep you close. They say you've changed, that you're full of yourself now, that you think you're better than everyone else. They turn your growth into a flaw, your ambition into arrogance, your discipline into coldness. But don't be fooled. That's just fear disguised as opinion. Fear of seeing you go where they've never been. Fear of losing control. Fear of being left behind in the comfort zone they built for themselves. You need to be ruthless when it comes to protecting your energy. Because every friendly traitor is a hidden anchor. Every friend who doesn't cheer for your success is planting emotional poverty inside you. You want to prosper? Start by clearing the ground. Cut the ties that keep you stuck. Distance yourself from those who talk about limits when you speak of expansion. Silence the ones who laugh when you share your dreams. Walt Disney wouldn't have built an empire if he had stayed surrounded by people who only saw the world in black and white. He walked with creators, visionaries, people who saw magic where others only saw limitation. He believed in the invisible long before anyone dared to call it possible. You want to change your life? Then start by choosing better conversations. Replace the voices that shrink you with silences that challenge you. Step away from eyes that judge and move closer to those that inspire. Because every great vision needs an environment that doesn't try to shrink it. And don't wait for support. Don't wait for applause, because the first steps of rising are lonely. But it's in that intentional solitude that you grow stronger. It's in the silence of rejection that you find clarity. And it's in stepping away from the wrong circles that you finally begin to build the life you always dreamed of. Be honest with yourself. Who's pulling you backward? Who's distracting you with drama? Who's keeping you small because they're afraid to lose you? Who's smiling on the outside but hoping you fail on the inside? The courage to prosper begins with the courage to choose. Choose who walks beside you, who you share your dreams with, who you build with, because not every smile is a friend. Some are just shackles in disguise, and if you don't cut those chains now, they'll become the weight that sinks everything you could have become. But there comes a moment when cutting ties is no longer enough. You need to plant new ones, because a clear mind without new ideas becomes contaminated again, and a strong heart left in isolation begins to doubt itself. It's time to rebuild your environment. You need to find those who think ahead, those who talk about building, not about drama, those who discuss ideas, not people, those who wake up early, not just out of obligation, but out of passion, those who listen to you with real interest, not to find flaws. Look for the quiet ones, the observers who take action, the discreet who stack silent victories while others are still talking, the visionaries who don't announce plans, they deliver results. These are the new voices you need around you. You need living references, people who broke patterns, who rose above the environment they were born into, who built even without support, who fell and got back up so many times that now they walk with their eyes on the horizon, not on the ground. Look at names like Oprah Winfrey, who overcame abuse and poverty to become a symbol of global influence, or Andrew Carnegie, who started as a factory worker and built a steel empire, or Sarah Blakely, who sold fax machines over the phone before becoming a billionaire with an idea everyone doubted. They didn't follow pre-made paths. They created their own. And no, you don't have to be physically close to these people. You can study them. You can read their books, listen to their talks, absorb their mindset. Because proximity of purpose transforms more than physical presence ever could. Your new circle can start with pages, with videos, with mentors who don't even know you exist but are already guiding you. Because you're finally ready to listen. Because in the end, it's not about where you are. It's about what you tolerate, what you absorb, what you replicate, day after day. You want to escape mental, emotional, and financial poverty? Build a new circle, cultivate new influences, and more than anything, become one of those voices yourself. You didn't come this far to repeat the story of those who gave up. You came to create a new one, so that others can be inspired by you. So stop just cutting off what's dragging you down. Start building what lifts you up. That's where real transformation begins. But building is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of responsibility. Because maintaining what you've achieved requires even more awareness than getting there in the first place. When victory comes, many people relax. And that's when the cycle of self-sabotage begins again. Not because of others, but because of a lack of attention to their own standards. You need to stay vigilant with your thoughts, even after your bank account changes. You need to protect your discipline when no one is holding you accountable. You need to keep evolving even when everyone around you says, "You've made it." The new environment gave you strength. Now you are the one who must sustain it. True success is not a destination. It's a continuous state of growth. It's when you stop fighting only for yourself and start serving. Start leading. Start inspiring others to break free from the same poverty you once overcame. Remember, poverty is a cycle, but prosperity can be too. When you change, you become a bridge. For your children, for your friends, for strangers. You become the example that was missing, the role model you never had. And that requires consistency. It requires humility. It requires remembering every single day what brought you this far and what could bring you down if you ever forget. Be the mentor you never had. Be the voice you once needed to hear. Be the environment others can enter. And leave better than they arrived. Because now, you're no longer trying to escape poverty. You're deciding to never go back. And that decision, that firmness, is what builds legacies.